Welcome to episode 19 of the A Strings podcast.
Adam.
Andrew.
So this is a little bit different today.
It is.
Listeners have probably picked up on the fact that we haven't got a table in front of us.
Yeah. Instant difference in sound.
We got to do our best not to try and make this seem rushed today, because we are in a little bit of a rush, aren't we?
Yeah.
Usually podcasts are quite a relaxed affair, starting around about 5:45, 6 o'clock in the evening, finishing anywhere between about 7:30 and 8.
Yeah.
Today is Glyn's birthday.
Yeah. Tuesday, the 11th of June. That's when we record on a Tuesday.
Yeah. So, and we're going out into Cardiff to get meat sweats.
All of the meats, please, garçon.
Yeah. And, so we're leaving at 6:15, so we need to step on it a bit.
So the shop is actually open and in full swing
so
as we're in here.
You're going to hear the Ninos.
Yeah, of the door.
And the of the sales staff. This is the news. I guess starting with shop news, it's been a fairly active June so far. You know, I think that the Black Star event just seemed like a little bit of a. I don't want to tempt fate, because things can change at any point, but it just kind of seemed like a bit of a shot in the arm for us, enthusiasm-wise.
I think so.
And I don't think that you can say that as directly kind of related in, an upturn in fortune, because I don't know what dictates that, but I wonder whether weather has something to do with it, because, it's been absolutely miserable outside.
It has.
And we've been busy.
Yeah. It's
on a consecutive kind of day basis, all this week, really.
Yeah, so it seems to be as soon as we've ticked into June, every day has been.
It's. I think
busy.
It's a case of let's not question it. Let's just
let's just keep going.
Yeah,
and keep enjoying it.
So, off the back of that, we've had quite a few nice things come in, go out.
Yeah.
Notables.
In and out, we had the lefty Strat that went out today as we were in here.
Yeah.
So that was first guitar. Was that someone's first electric?
It's the first electric, I think. But we ordered two of them in. It wasn't. They're kind of the price point that you can afford to get a few in, as opposed to just singles.
Right.
And ordered a few in to cover us if it got damaged in transit. Well, it'd be awful to have to wait another week or whatever it is for just another kind of affinity.
Yeah.
But also, it's quite nice for the customer to come in and look and choose the best one of the two.
Yeah.
And so it was a left-handed affinity in Sunburst.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing, quite remarkable, the difference in the two. Not the quality of finish or anything, all of that was spot on with both. Neither of them had even like a blemish on them, so that was good. But just the grain on the two of them.
Yeah, it was. It was, very, very, very different looking.
And it's nice for a customer to then walk away knowing that they've, the proof is right in front of them that guitars do differ one to the other. So, he went away choosing exactly the guitar he wanted, as opposed to saying, right, this is what you wanted in Sunburst.
Yeah,
there it is, go.
Exactly.
It's
And which one did he go for?
Everyone thought that, including his dad, we all thought the one with the more pronounced grain was the one to go for, and he preferred the plainer one.
Right.
But that's perfect. How dare we guess what somebody wants to have? They completely proved us wrong.
So the other guitar that has in and out same day was the Scott Ian Jackson. So this essentially is the...
We waited for them for a little while, actually.
So Scott Ian from Anthrax has got a signature Jackson, and it's a V. Obviously the Jackson Vs are far more sort of pointy, but it has kind of the Gibson sort of aesthetic on it. So it's the Gibson style pickguard.
Right.
And stop
that kind of follows like the two the two downward triangle kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's
It's like the old A strings logo. Then.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's kind of the classic Gibson look of a V, but with like the headstocks of Jackson and the sort of the points are Jackson. But that was in and out, same candy apple red, very nice, flawless again, finish wise.
Yeah,
and then the Faiths,
right?
A couple of Faiths have come in.
That's right. All this was meant to come in on Friday, wasn't it? And it didn't.
Yeah. UPS were having a break.
Yeah,
they needed a day off, so they pulled a sickie.
So yeah,
and there's a couple of interesting models with them. So we've had the Neptune with a spruce top, but it's got a Trembesi back and sides, which is normally what's on the Blood Moon. And we've had the Blood Moon in Venus, which is one of our most popular acoustic guitars. And this one's a bit of a darker finish to the others, which is nice. And then the last one is the Neptune, but it's a 45mm nut.
So that's wider than normal.
Yeah, it's just kind of a bit more like a seagull in its spacing, but obviously a Faith. And that's
nice. I saw you put a picture of a lovely Cadillac green Gretsch.
Wow, yeah.
They haven't got to do much to impress people, Gretsch. You know, they've already got it there with the, how good the guitar looks, and they can choose just a very classy colour and gold hardware, or whatever they choose really, and it's going to look impressive.
Yeah.
Some people really don't like the guitars, but most people do, and whether they intend on getting a Gretsch ever or not, I think it's, if you like Gretsch, not love Gretsch or anything, but I think if you like Gretsch, I think it's always your intention in the back of your mind that at some point in your life you're going to have a Gretsch. Yeah,
and I think even if you don't necessarily play a style that would be suitable, I think aesthetically they are very, very nice.
Yeah.
But the Cadillac green with gold is absolutely amazing, and it was kind of Andrew comes back from Dublin and decides I want a guitar to remember the trip by.
On to more serious things. We went to Quasar in Barry Island on the weekend.
Yes, we did.
It was amazing.
It was. I think the last time I went, I must have been 12.
Me too, but me 12 versus your 12 is but 10 years apart, 9 years apart. And thoroughly enjoyed it.
It was amazing.
So I went with, it was my little nephew's birthday, and we needed to make up numbers.
Which is why I was...
So Adam came along. By the way, Tom's not in the room at the moment because we are an open shop at the moment, and we're kind of... he's manning the fort out there with Tristan.
But he will be popping in later for his top five.
His top five. But, Tom can make it because he was out walking naked through...
Through Bath?
Through Bath.
Walking naked through Bath.
Yeah. We'll let him explain that in a future episode.
Yeah.
And yes, is my brother, my mum, my dad, myself, you, and then a lot of people from
Sonny's friends from school.
Yeah. And yes, there's an age range from, I think it was about 7 through to 73.
Wow.
Yeah. And
guess which ones were the worst behaved?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you and me were on opposite teams.
Yes.
And our team won every game.
It did.
You were getting a little bit wound up at times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of forgetting that it's just an 8-year-old's birthday party.
Doesn't matter.
No. I think I was talking to you on the way home from it. I think that there can be like a psychological kind of study with regards to how you behave in a war zone or Quasar, and just your outlook in life and that kind of thing. Like you didn't stray from the base. You were all about stay back at the base, protect the rectangle.
Yeah, protect the little rectangle the other team has to shoot into. Yeah,
for all costs, at all costs. And to be fair, as you're trying to approach the base, you were a sniper. I couldn't get anywhere close for ages.
All I needed was two of you together, one to take me out,
and which is what happened when I did manage to get to base.
Yeah,
we had this one guy come in and was trying to shoot the thing. You shot at him. I shot you, which paralysed you for however long.
That was it. That's enough time to...
Yeah, then I got the rectangle and...
celebrated with an almighty high five.
I went to high five my partner who did the... when I say partner, I mean like team partner. To say, job well done. And I put my hand up and he just turned around and ran off, leaving me completely hanging in the enemy's base, at which point Adam managed to get his life back and he shot me. Twice.
Yeah, the third time it happened, I high-fived him, even though we were on opposite teams.
I reckon we should run a competition at some point. I'll save up a little bit, maybe run a competition. And what was it? There's 6 of us here in work. So
yeah,
14 winners. We'll all go down to Barry Island and we'll have a good game of Quasar along with chicken nuggets and chips. Or sausage and chips.
Your choice.
Yeah. And
fizzy drinks.
Yeah, and complimentary Star Wars toy for the best shot.
Yeah.
Every June, one of our biggest suppliers, JHS, John Holmey Skews, based up in Leeds, they used to have an event, and it was a proper event where they'd invite you up for a day or two. They put you up in a hotel, and you could either bring colleagues or you could bring family, and the kind of point of the day, or the week rather, was to try and sell you a lot of stuff, and they'd showcase it. There'd be special offers on, and they'd give you longer to pay for it. And it was one of these kind of family-friendly kind of things. There'd be bouncy castles.
Right. Really?
They'd take up on helicopter rides, and it was a real kind of. It was just a real good day. All food and drink paid for and everything, and they put you up in this hotel. And as I went in 2009 to 2010 or so with my mate Dino, who has a shop in a couple of Air Force bases.
Yeah.
And we went up there, and it's brilliant.
Bouncy Castle?
Yeah. But the following years, it'd been going on for about 20 years or so, but the following years, less and less or fewer people were going along.
Right, okay.
And it was becoming more expensive for them to kind of put it on than it was beneficial, I think. So basically they said, right, as opposed to being, writing all this business in 1 week, what we'll do, we'll cancel the event and we'll have all the same offers and we'll put reps on the road to write the business over the course of a month as opposed to just in a few days.
So now we've got
so now the reps come round to us.
The event for the month, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
And basically we've filled out. We got about 40 guitars coming in. They're lovely guitars. They're nothing to get. I might shoot myself in the foot by saying it's nothing to get excited about, in as much as it's not 40 custom shop level kind of guitars. These are very, very well spec'd, very, very good vintage branded acoustics, electrics. We've all seen like the slash not slash kind of Les Paul and the Peter Green not Peter Green Les Paul, all that kind of thing. They're fantastic guitars, really well spec'd, amazing prices on them. They got quite a few new models as well. And so we made a big order with them on Friday. I'm expecting the stuff to come through any day now. They brought out a new laminate model, which we kind of stay away from the laminate guitars, don't we? Because we've always been about, buy yourself something of quality. Okay, it's going to cost a few bucks more, but, it's going to be something that will last you a lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think as time's kind of going on, I'm realizing that, I think there's definitely an element of our local kind of potential audience that we're just not, that we're seen as maybe a little bit elitist, or maybe, they can't afford to come into us for whatever, because our entry level guitars are around £170. So with that in mind, they've, and it kind of coincides with what Vintage is just releasing as well. I shouldn't say this, but I will. They brought out like a Tanglewood Crossroads killer kind of thing.
Okay. So the Tanglewood Crossroads was their £99
all laminate
entry guitar.
Yeah, which was just brilliant.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The amount of times that we could have sold dozens of them by now. We choose not to do Tanglewood because we've got enough crossover with other products, you know.
Yeah.
So they've released this new guitar, and they promised me that it is really, really good. And I said, right, well, if it isn't, I'll send it back to you. It's as easy as that kind of thing. And he said, yeah, absolutely no problem at all. So we've got about a dozen or so. They got Dreadnoughts. They've got the triple O size, which would be like the V300.
Yes.
And then they've got the Parlors. So they got non-electro versions, which are going to be coming in at £99. And they're killer for £99. Absolutely brilliant to look at. Spec-wise, if they're going to be like they're coming out of the same factory as the V300. So if they're as good as that, I'm going to be over the moon.
Yeah.
Hopefully by this time next week, we'll be able to tell you whether, you know, they're as good a buy as we're hoping that they are.
Yeah.
And then they've got, so in the same spec, but with electronics on them, £149. So again,
bro, an electroacoustic for
under £150. So we got some of that coming in, but they've redesigned a lot of their electric guitars as well.
Okay.
And off the back of our meeting last week, they invited us up to the factory up in Leeds to spend a couple of days going through all the new guitars, do some YouTube videos, and have a chat to the people who have kind of designed them and work on them. So
yeah,
you and Tom are going to be heading up north.
Up north.
You're going to have to curb the dirty impressions.
Maybe won't introduce myself. As the debonair.
You may recognise me from videos on YouTube. Onto YouTube. Right. Let's stop that. So, so you're going up with Tom on a date yet to be announced.
Oh, I thought you were just going to say on a date. Yeah.
Well, you were on about going on holiday together, which
yeah, raised
eyebrows amongst the staff.
Tom will be doing his paintings. I'll just be swanning about in a kimono.
On the chaise lounge. Yes, that'll be good for you.
Yeah, it'll be good. You know, it'd be nice to sort of get up and I'm guessing they put you in a room and it's no interruptions. It's just like, here's all the gear.
Yeah.
And we can just go through, you know, we can just do guitar.
But, you know, it's not just a case of them inviting us up. They've paid attention to the stuff we do on
I think
YouTube
that's what surprised me the most is I said to Tom, I said, why have they asked us to go? You know, in as much as, you know, they must have looked or been looking or...
The feedback that we get from the videos, absolutely. But I think what we can be a little bit more prolific with, because there's a hell of a lot less time involved in it, are the photographs, you know. So that's not taking anything away from the effort involved, but, you know, Tom's been out in the alleyway at the back and up the mountain, you know, today to take some photographs of some Jacksons, which, you know, majority of the work is done on with the scene. You know, he sets up the photographs so well, you know, and, you know, there's some editing afterwards, but he really has kind of come into his own with regards to this stuff, and people are taking notice and paying attention. You know, it's and so it's really brilliant to have, you know, a rep or you know, a company come up to and, you know, give us a call or drop us an email saying absolutely loved what you did with this, and you know, it's encouraging, and it's very proud. So it's off the back of that they want you to go up and, you know, do some quality content. So don't disappoint.
Quality content. So off the back of us receiving the fantastic Brian May flight case from Pete, you've had a conversation with Pete.
Yeah, he's so they're going out on tour I think they're starting to get ready for it in the next, well, now really.
Yeah.
And, you know, the next week or so they're going to be rehearsing and stuff. But he's left, for me, being the fanboy that I am, he's left this guitar for us to pick up over the course of whenever I'm up there next, that neck of the woods. He's left this guitar for me to pick up to bring down here to include on part of the series of videos that we're going to do. Have we talked about those already?
Yeah, we've mentioned it very briefly, yeah.
So this guitar, I'm not going to spoil the... I may as well spoil the surprise because it doesn't really mean as much to probably you lot as it does to me. But back in... Right, so first of all, this ties in really amazingly well that I hadn't thought of before. Today's the 11th of June, Tuesday.
Yeah.
It was 28 years ago today that I went to my first ever gig, which was Brian May in Cardiff Ice Rink with my friend Ian Collins, my mum, my dad, and Ian's dad. And it was I was 13 years old, and I didn't stop jumping throughout the entire thing. And I was front row getting squashed, and back then you'd walk away from a gig and you'd have tinnitus for days, and it was just the best, most amazing gig. Obviously, it was my first gig, so I didn't have anything to compare it to, but I was buzzing for days. It was unreal. And about a year later, he released a VHS and an album and a CD of the gig he did a couple of days after, which was Brixton Academy.
Right.
In this gig, he had a backup guitar, which was a drop D guitar. And it was a guild, but it wasn't one of the 80s guilds. And the timeline in which he was using this guitar, it was too early to be one of the 93, 94 series guilds, one of which I've got. It was different colour. Yeah, it was different colour to the 84 one, but it had the 84 pickups, but it had a different tremolo system, and it was just a bit of an oddity. But he uses it on a couple of songs in this on this video, and he would have used it on the very first gig that I went to. And people don't really know much about this guitar at all because it was a prototype, so people don't know how much of a prototype it was, in as much as did any of those features make it to the next one? How many of those features are similar to the old 84 one? Anyway, they found this guitar recently, and Pete sent through a picture saying, "Do you know what this is?" And I said, "Yes, actually, that was the 93 prototype for." So I kind of geek hat on, and he said, "If you want to pick it up to do what you want with in a video room, you can whenever you want." So we got that to collect very, very soon. So I'm tingling with excitement with regards to picking that up, and hopefully, we've kind of got it penciled in in for September when they back off their North American tour.
Yeah,
for Pete to come down maybe for a weekend with some different bits and bobs, maybe,
and do an evening.
Maybe do an evening, but certainly do some videos.
Yeah,
as and when that happens, we'll let you know. But
very excited.
Yeah,
and it's
for
really,
me.
Yeah, I think that kind of thing really helps set us apart as well. We've obviously got the link there, which we don't shout about it on Facebook or anything like that.
We don't go on about it a lot on Facebook.
No.
On here, I think we talk about it 3 times an episode.
We're a bit more comfortable with you guys.
But it's like being in the front room.
Yeah, it is. And we are in the front room.
We are in the front room.
But we do provide him with bits and bobs, and obviously the relationship with Pete and Brian is really good. Strong. So it'll be really nice to be able to get these one-off pieces in, and there's nobody else that is going to be able to do that.
No,
you're not going to see that interview on Anderton's TV.
Well, the thing is, the reason why you're probably not going to see these kinds of things crop up on other channels is that there's nothing to sell off the back of it.
True.
This is purely...
This is a love...
Yeah.
A labour of love.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a labour, but, it's a thing of love.
Yeah. It's our passion is dealing with guitar specialist bits.
Yeah.
Not guitar specialists bits.
No.
That's your passion. David Bellamy, the 80s TV personality.
Yeah.
Not him. But Matt Bellamy has acquired Manson Guitar Works.
Matt Bellamy from Muse. So Manson are the company that make all of his guitars.
Yes.
Interestingly, reading the little excerpt we got here, it's a full takeover. It's a full takeover. So Hugh Manson.
There's no ambiguity in it either.
No,
I'm excited to be taking ownership of Manson Guitar Works.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's been.
It's a hostile
gone
takeover.
in, hostile takeover. Gone in with guns.
Yeah,
like Quasar. No.
Yeah. Everything's like Quasar now. So Hugh Manson, who is the owner, or was the owner, and luthier, who made all of Matt's guitars, is going to remain a consultant. So he's obviously sold it. He's completely... Well, he's going to have to stay as the luthier, surely.
Yeah. Thing is, he's probably got as many guitars as he needs now.
Yeah.
But I wonder where this will leave Court, whether they use Court for developing the signature model still.
Yeah.
Or whether he does, what they did with the Brian May guitars thing, whereby, the name belongs to Brian May, and then he just, outsources the development and manufacture of the guitars
to someone else. Yeah. Yeah, likely.
I imagine Matt Bellamy's going to want to be quite hands-on with it. He seems he knows exactly what he wants, doesn't he? Things with that Chaos pad and, with the guitar. He used to play Telecaster back in the day, didn't he?
Yeah.
And, so it's an obvious kind of evolution of that.
Yeah.
So, I'd be quite interested to see where that kind of...
Yeah, and he's not doing it for monetary reasons either.
Isn't he?
Just, purely doesn't need to. The waiting list on these guitars for people to have a Matt Bellamy model is years and years and years. So what I think is I don't think he's going to I don't think he's going to sell out the company, and I don't think he's going to. He's not going to prostitute it.
First of all, when I heard that this was going on, I thought, is there the market? Is there the audience for it? Because I know that the Red Special guitar has got a very finite audience. It's gone up immeasurably since the movie, but I know that as of a couple of years ago, the conversations kind of being had whereby, it was kind of trickling over, the sales, but they'd kind of taken it really, everyone who wanted one
had one.
And it's not a Stratocaster, it's not a Les Paul, because it's associated with an artist. You only have a very limited kind of appeal. Yeah. But Matt Bellamy is probably the last true guitar hero, I'd say. Who's got his own absolutely identifiable signature guitar.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody. Yeah, people for using a Les Paul. People for using a Stratocaster. With regards to something as identifiable as that, he's probably the last person.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, and they do seem to have worldwide attraction.
Muse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this could be massive.
I mean, they could be, thinking about the two options you've got. You've either got a proper Manson, which is years away and thousands of pounds, or a Court, which is the entry level, which is great for affordability, but doesn't have any of the features that you would want.
No.
Maybe they will look at some sort of middle ground somewhere.
Yeah.
To try and develop a model that kind of is the best of both.
Yeah. Maybe you'll keep the Manson Guitar Works as a custom shop and, approach, you could approach maybe Fender or stay with Court or whatever with regards to...
Yeah.
As good as the Court guitar is, they don't seem to have the spread, of or distribution kind of model that, a guitar like this could benefit from.
Yeah, no.
In the UK, 440 do it, and we love 440, and, we'll be getting these in, and, they do well in this country. But, Court as a brand worldwide, it's massively respected. I don't think it's a necessity.
It hasn't kind of got the brand power, is it?
No, people don't think whatever happens by hook or by crook, I need Court on the wall.
Yeah.
It sells, and if people were... If people were kind of making decisions, if shop owners were making decisions a bit more intelligently and not just getting what they want to see on the shelves, they absolutely would think of quarters a necessity. But yeah, I'll be interested.
Yeah, I think so.
It'll be good to see
I think
what
so.
happens with that.
So today's biscuit news is completely different as well. So there's no table, there's no Tom, and there's no biscuits. But we do have biscuit news. We have been brought biscuits, and there's lots to mention.
First of all, we need to mention Boyd Tunnock,
Yes.
knighted Sir Boyd Tunnock, Tunnock's Confectioners.
Completely well deserved. A hero of ours in the
Yeah.
shop. You know, you've got Leo Fender, Les Paul, and Boyd Tunnock. I think they are the three. I think they're the three.
For services to the confectionery business.
Specific.
Yep. And yeah, I think he deserves every plaudit that gets
Every letter after his name. That's
yeah.
he-
Sir Boyd.
Sir Boyd. So there's a pair of, they always come in together, the customers come in together, and like the nicest guys are really great, both of them really good
Do I know?
players. Yeah, so they both come in, and the reason that he's been dubbed White Sam Jackson is we don't actually know his name. He hasn't got any record on the system because he's never bought anything. But always comes in, backwards Kangol hat, little sunglasses.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, amazing guy, an amazing player.
Brings
But-
in Welsh cakes a lot of the time.
yeah, so we get Welsh cakes off him. This time, like, again, amazing, like, way over what we'd even, well, we don't expect anything off you guys, and everything you bring in is amazing every single time. But they brought in Mr. Kipling chocolate chip cake slices, McVitie's digestive cakes, and caramel digestives.
Wow.
Like, why?
Yeah.
You're too kind.
Yeah.
Not just them, everyone.
Maybe
You're
he
all
feels
too
a little
kind.
bit bad because he said something quite nasty to me last time he was in.
Right.
Well, wait a second. He didn't mean for it to be nasty.
Dish the dirt.
Well, right. It's all about my GCSE maths exams. Do I want to get into this? I don't know. But basically, he said, I said that I had a B. I had 2 Bs, and I said that was the most I could have got because I was in like the second kind of set as opposed to the first set because I'm
okay.
I said I finished my exams within like 30 minutes. They were 2-hour exams, and I absolutely loved maths, and I was gutted that I messed about in my 3rd year or whatever, which meant that I couldn't have gone to do like set 1 maths and all the rest of it. And he said, you would have got C's, not B's. I said, no, I definitely got B's because I got the certificates. He said, no, you got C's because if he did the second level paper, the most he could have got was a C. And I said, no, definitely got B's. And, we were just kind of to and froing. And he just left it. Sorry to disappoint you. He definitely had C's.
What's his job?
He was he's a maths tutor, but he used to be involved in maths. He was a maths teacher, and I think he got involved in actually writing maths exams. So
that's, you'd never think to look at him that he was
no, he's a very, very intelligent maths
amazing
tutor. But I'm absolutely adamant, 100%. I got 2 B's in my maths exams.
You can put,
2 C's.
You can put what you want.
But
1, nobody checks them. 2, you own your own business. So it'd be you that'd be checking them anyway.
I don't care.
I believe you anyway.
He's lovely. We've spoken, we talk at length whenever he comes in, and like you say, he always brings in things. He's a lovely, lovely guy. And his mate who is with him does work for Deep Purple and stuff. They're both
right. Yeah.
amazing players, and they're both just gentlemen. Yeah. But he questioned my Maths GCSE results. And I swear, I've got no reason to lie. I wouldn't have even brought it up to him if you don't try to pull the wool over somebody's eyes in his position,
Andrew had 2 B's.
I did.
Maths GCSE. And that's
I
it.
did.
And that's the end of the story.
My mum brought in some chocolate chip foxes.
The big, really good.
Yeah.
Awesome ones.
She's got a cupboard at home, and she keeps loads of things like that in there.
Really?
Yeah. Do you think people are getting a little bit fed up for us when we're resorting to my mum to bring in biscuits?
No, your mum brought them in. We didn't ask your mum to bring them in.
No, that's right. Thanks, man.
Not biscuit related, but one of our friends, Dr. DR.
Oh,
Doctor brought us in some very nice coffee. Some, I think it's Lavazza. You have to correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so we've got some nice coffee there, some nice biscuits there. And we're not touching any of them because we're preparing ourselves. We're starving ourselves
for the meat sweats.
The war on meat.
Do you know what? He comes in with things. He's going to be. We're going to have to get him in for a podcast sometime soon because he's a very intelligent man. And he's working on some really, really amazing things. If you've been at the shop, you might have seen this little kind of maybe 6-inch by 6-inch wooden plaque, and it's got the A Strings logo on it, and it's like a little maple kind of plaque, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's all inlaid.
But it's inlaid. It's not painted. It's actual inlays, and it's effort. For what? What have we done to deserve that? But so he's he'd done that for us, but he's very switched on when it comes to electronics, and he's been developing his own amplifier. He's been developing his own rotating speaker cabinet. I think he was talking.
Well, the rotating speaker kind of just an add-on to what he's doing, but he's got this concept that it may be secret.
So I think he's going to bring it in for us to have a look at, and when he does, whether it's that or one of the other things he's developing, we should get him in to talk about it. He's just a lovely, lovely chap.
Yeah. And what he doesn't know about electronics and pedals and amps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Dan.
Biscuit News!
So, I guess, following on from the Matt Bellamy discussion with regard to signature models.
And the Brian May thing.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on signature models? Do you like signature models? Would you ever buy a signature model?
No.
Really? What, you don't like them and you wouldn't buy them?
Right. So the only one that I think is different, because it is a guitar that was built by the person, is the BM, is the Brian May. So but for me, I'd have to have something like, if I was going to have a Brian May, I wouldn't have a BM. I would want like a Guyton one or a Relict one. I'd want something that's kind of like a historical piece rather than just an off the run thing.
Yeah.
But signatures for me, no, not really. I was thinking about it when you were talking about it. Like the most prominent ones, especially in the last couple of years, you've had like the Jim Root Fender stuff, John 5 Fender stuff. The Zakk Wylde Les Paul is kind of the big one.
So, is it the association, or do you think that it's more the cash-in job? In as much as
I have no issue with people sort of, because I imagine it would be. I got no issue with the idea of it. I just think that the whole idea of playing guitar is to sort of find yourself and be individual. And
so something like the Clapton Strat, and the Clapton Strat's been used by big players like Pete Townsend. I can't remember. There's a few others that big names that use a Clapton Strat because you got that mid boost thing on it, so it makes your guitar sound from on the one end. With I think it's the first tone pot, isn't it? Next to the volume.
Yeah,
you roll that down, and you got that kind of lace sensor weedy kind of thin sound, which is absolutely perfect for a lot of for funk, for just the cleaner playing.
Yeah.
And then you ramp it up, and all of a sudden it sounds like you got humbuckers. It's that real kind of warm. It's a really, really usable effect.
Yeah.
And so, would you stay away from the Clapton if that was something that you required in your band or whatever? Would you stay away from the Clapton Strat because, regardless of it having the feature that you wanted?
I don't know. The Strat thing is, I suppose it's the visual of it. That's the big thing, is that they make these guitars.
So you don't like the association?
A lot of the time, it's that visual of it. Like I'd play, a Strat, as long as a Strat is a Strat, really. So what have you got? Like you'd have the pewter one, I guess, is the
pewter, the blackie.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Just a black Strat. Same with the Gilmore one. It's a great looking.
Well,
Strat.
exactly. So okay, then
But something
so
like
would
the
you,
Zakk Wylde, like a Bullseye, no, never. My favorite band is
Would you
Metallica. I'd never in a million years have one of their ones, which is obviously a signature one of theirs. Which is no, that's their guitar. I'd want my guitar.
It's a difficult one when you get to something like a Sunburst Les Paul,
Yeah,
and you just you'd buy it if you're going to buy it. You'd buy it thinking, right, well, Slash plays something identical. And there's every chance that when you're performing, people are going to look at you and say, Slash plays the same coloured guitar. Would you stay away from that coloured guitar?
No, that's not.
So
that's not really a thing. I guess if it's like overtly kind of.
So like the black Strat with black scratch plate, a la Dave Gilmour, you'd stay away from.
It's a great looking guitar. We've got the Performer out there, which is black, and cream. There's nothing to do with him. I think that's a great guitar.
I love signature guitars.
Right.
I've obviously I've got Red Specials, but I've got a Kurt Cobain Mustang. I've never seen him play a Mustang before, but when it came into the shop, it was a Japanese one, an orange one, and I was able to get sounds out of it that I haven't been able to get out of other things.
Yeah,
and the stuff that I was playing on it wasn't anything like the Nirvana stuff, but I love knowing that the guitar has the potential of doing the Nirvana stuff.
Yeah.
I know what Nirvana sounds like. It's that, you've got that real big, rock sound or the thin kind of rhythm sound. Knowing that it's capable of doing those.
Yeah.
I've not used it in that kind of application yet, but I saw it and I really loved the way it looked. The fact it was a Kurt Cobain. I didn't buy it because it was a Kurt Cobain.
No.
I loved it for the instrument it was. I've had periods of my life where I've been a massive Clapton fan and I've really, really wanted the Clapton Strat. We've had Clapton Strats come in the shop and it's not disappointed. If I didn't have a dozen other guitars I wanted to buy first, I'd certainly look at getting one.
Yeah.
Because the neck feels amazing. I don't know whether Fender specifically put a lot more effort into their signature guitars than they do, or maybe there's like a different level of finishing going on with their signature guitars. But I have not come across a bad one. I think that they're absolutely amazing. Johnny Marr Jag is absolutely stunning, and has actually led the way with regards to how their own Jaguars have evolved.
Yeah.
Whenever we get a signature guitar in, even if I don't know the player, like the Troy Van Leeuwen, there's just something really, really special about it.
Yeah, and I think what you said is probably more the way that I would go as well. Like you bought the Kurt Cobain, nothing. It was nothing to do with you didn't buy it because it was the Kurt Cobain thing. Yeah, and that's that's the way to do it, I think.
But we get a lot of people that will. Loads of people have come in, especially this last year or so, looked up the Red Special, smiled. Oh, it's amazing that, and then you start talking to them about it a little bit more. Said, yeah, but I can never own one. It's Brian May's guitar. I don't understand that mentality because
it turns into a bit of a psychology.
It does
exploration, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I guess that there's guitars out there that are a bit more subtle in their signature kind of thing, aren't they? They'll have just a little signature on the back. There's nothing sort of. The obvious one that keeps springing to mind is the Zakk Wylde. It's a big bullseye Les Paul thing. Like it before it's even come through the door. Whereas something like the Troy Van Leeuwen, all it was the sort of a limited color. Other than that was a jazz. Yeah.
So it's not the. So what aspect of it is it that kind of steers you away from a signature? Is it?
It's just that I just think it's that thing of originality.
Yeah,
that's all. I just think that someone's Yeah, don't know. But, you know, as people that listen to this who know us in the shop, they know that I've got the Supro, the Bowie.
Yeah.
And I will obviously be getting the other one because I'm not having an unfinished set. But that's more, in my brain, that's more of a collector's thing. They like, you know, I'm never, ever going to go on stage with that. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
No. It'll play in the house and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's not a guitar that's going to be a workhorse.
Yeah.
Like the Strat is, you know, that's like, you know, I take that everywhere.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I think that's where it is for me anyway. But I think everyone's different.
Have you ever tried?
It's a spectrum, man. That's the thing.
Have you ever tried capturing anyone else's sounds? You know, have you ever gone out? You know, has there ever been a period of your life where you've wanted to sound like Kirk Hammett or?
I mean, yeah, the Hetfield thing for a long time, but you'd look at the rig and it'd be like, you know, like Diesels and all that, you know, Mesa Boogies and thousands of pounds.
Isn't that
worth
weird?
Of amps
You know,
and
I've
stuff.
never looked into the Metallica sound. You know, there's a number of different players that I really, really like that I've looked at what their rig is and, you know, how you'd get a good approximation of their sound using whatever. The Metallica one, you know, it's very, very ignorant, but it's so heavy that I just put it into a complete kind of category.
And
I imagine I can buy one amp that will do any one of 100 heavy bands kind of sounds.
Yeah, and it's interesting because before we started the podcast, they put up live videos of everything, and I know they're running through Axe Effects live, but they've just played in Ireland a day or two ago. I was just watching they were doing Whiskey in the Jar because they covered it a few years ago, didn't they? And I don't like the sound. I like the recorded sound. I think that, you know, Black Album, Load and Reload for me are kind of like my favorite sound. But yeah, live I don't like that sound at all. I don't
It's like compressed, oversaturated.
Whether I'm sort of getting a bit more mature, in quotation marks, and just kind of veering away. But I prefer a much kind of fuller. I prefer sort of an over the edge overdrive now, rather than this kind of distortion, kind of bee in a can kind of.
Okay, so you haven't bought. You wouldn't buy a signature guitar apart from the Bowie thing, which is a commemorative thing, I guess, more than anything else.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't buy a signature guitar. Have you been influenced with what you've bought because of a player?
Yeah.
So, you know, have you bought?
Yeah, God, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. So I think especially with the original band stuff, it was very kind of, you know, it was a very Muse kind of way, 30 Seconds to Mars kind of the way. So there was a lot of other things going on apart from a guitar band with them. And with us, hopefully. But, so I was trying to sort of get sounds that would be sort of similar-ish. But a lot of the time, I was running, you know, sort of, as long as I had sort of an octave below pedal on, as you know, at the same time, I was running through, you know, nothing that was similar to them, really. It was just trying to get a sound that captured a feel.
So have you ever bought amps off the back of...
I don't think so, no.
Because obviously, you know, little Andrew Morgan at the age of 13 going to see Brian May in Cardiff Ice Rink wanted a red special and an AC30 from that moment on. And I was lucky enough to get one when I was 16 from my nan when I got my guild. And then when I turned 18, I was allowed to do whatever I wanted with my savings. And I went to Cranes and I bought an AC30, which is that one there.
Wow. So if you watch any of our videos, it's the one in the middle with with the sort of the pale brown cloth.
I was a complete idiot because I bought one and I didn't know the difference between blue and green speakers, and I paid £890. So they were more back then than they are now.
Yeah.
But it's made in England. I bought that. I bought one, and it had blue speakers in it. And I said, yeah, but I want one with green speakers in. And they said, right, well, we're going to have to buy it in. And they give me the blue one to use for like 3 weeks until
that's good though,
until
isn't
the
it,
green
as well?
one come in. And then they said, are you sure? And I said, yeah. And I swapped around. And then
Why did you do that?
I don't know. I might have been 18, but I was thick.
He was good at maths.
They got they've got blues in now, but you know, at that point, then, you know, I got the sound that I wanted to. You know, that was in my head. I just wanted to sound like it. And then, you know, after that, as I've kind of veered off in different paths, and I've liked other bands like Blur, like Manics, like Led Zeppelin, all these different people. You know, I've bought different guitars, but I've not really been that adventurous with the amps. So,
and in what Vox, I think, and that's why I've got a Vox now, is that it does everything. And if it doesn't quite take you over the edge, you know, nowadays there's pedals that can do that anyway. I get everything I need from the Vox.
It's a mad thing to say, but it's very underrated. People think it does just a certain couple of things, but it'll do loads.
Yeah.
But we've digressed a little bit, haven't we?
Yeah. So we'd like to hear your thoughts as well. Now, you've got lots of things to do this week because you've still got a competition from last week that we got to talk about a little bit.
Well, I was wondering whether we need to rethink that competition, because we've only had a few people get in touch with regards to that.
Okay.
But also, we're a little bit thick in as much as one person writes in with their answer or posts with their answer, then everyone else can just copy what the person above had said.
That is true.
So so I think is it Dan? Dr. Dan has given us an answer, and one or two other people as well. So as of now, which is the 11th of June, Tuesday, it's going to be 6 o'clock in a bit. We'll have a look, see who's messaged us, and we'll give them a set of strings regardless. But I think we need to think of a new competition.
Top point scorer at Quasar. Well. Competition for a competition for a competition.
And we'll sort that out, competition for next week, which will be episode 20. And I think we're going to have a little break then, aren't we? Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. We'll do like a colouring in competition.
Colouring competition. We'll get Tom to do a cartoon outline. We'll get people to colour in. We'll think of something.
Yeah.
So, should we get Tom in to do his top 5?
I think so.
Bah.
So...
Welcome, Tom.
Are we recording?
Tom top 5.
Tom top 5.
What's your top 5 today, Tom?
This week's top 5 is strange duets.
Oh.
It's a good one.
Is it?
So, not necessarily stuff that's been released, but stuff that's funny to watch on YouTube.
Okay.
So, the idea is I'm going to give you a name, and you've got to try and guess the partner in the duet.
Okay.
Or outstrange me.
Okay.
Number 5, Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson. Well, you'd imagine she'd go with somebody soulful. So, I'm going to have to think of somebody else. Kid Rock.
Cliff Richard.
No way! Janet Jackson, Cliff Richard.
1984. The song was called 2 to the Power of Love.
Oh, what a brilliant...
It's worth watching.
2 to the Power of Love.
So it was quite difficult to find information of this on the internet.
Really?
It seems like they tried to... well, she's tried to destroy all evidence.
So many negative associations with them.
She would have been 18 in 1984.
And he would have been about 50?
44.
Oh, Cliff.
And it is a love song.
Oh, Cliff, no. No. What are you doing, Cliff? Oh,
Number 4, Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton. You naturally expect her to go with a country gent. So I'd go with somebody like...
I'll give you a clue. This is also from 1984.
Okay. Boy George.
Sylvester Stallone.
Does he sing?
Well, not really.
Can you find all these things on YouTube?
Yeah, we should put the links to them because they're worth watching.
Really?
So they're in a film together called Rhinestone.
Right.
And so the song "I'll Be There" from Rhinestone is terrible.
Yeah.
It was a massive flop. The film.
She doesn't see many of those, does she? Right.
Number 3, David Bowie.
Bing Crosby.
Well, that would be the obvious one.
Yeah.
'Cause it is an awkward
Yeah.
thing to watch. Marianne Faithfull.
Ah, okay. Well, she was associated with the Stones a lot, wasn't she? Was she? Yeah. I think so.
Well, you've got to watch this one.
Okay.
I Got You, Babe, from 1973. She's dressed as a nun. He's in some kind of red vinyl corset thing, and it is brilliant.
Were you aware of this before?
No.
Have you ever seen?
No, I haven't seen. I didn't see this duet until Tom found it, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Brilliant.
Number 2, Suzanne Boyle.
Suzanne Boyle.
This is from 2013.
Eminem.
No, Elvis.
Ah.
So this is one of those kind of
Yeah.
after they're dead.
Yeah.
Obviously. Oh Come All Ye Faithful. It's from a Christmas album. And this is worth watching the video.
Yeah.
Sorry. So it's kind of a nativity play thing going on.
No.
But
And what
just-
part does she play? Obviously, he's the king.
She plays the drunk auntie. Well, that's what it looks like she's playing. But so she's singing at the nativity, and there's a little kid dressed as Elvis. And if you watch in the background, there's this little girl. She just blatantly falls on her face, and no one's edited it out. Just leave it in.
She's very artistic, isn't she? No, sorry. Right, sorry.
Number 1, Debbie Harry.
Debbie Harry. Clint Eastwood.
Kermit the Frog. This is actually quite a good one.
Is it?
Rainbow Connection, obviously from The Muppet Show,
Yeah.
1980.
So, what's that song?
I'm not going to sing it.
Is it the one that Kermit plays on the
On the banjo.
banjo?
He does, yeah.
Why does everyone sing songs about rainbows? Something like that.
Yeah. Wow. I'm going to have to check out some of these, especially Cliff Richard and Janet Jackson. That sounds...
Yeah.
How-
I've
how
got a
would
question
you-
for you. What's Kermit the Frog's middle name?
There.
It is.
See? Maths. Brilliant.
So,
Tom 5.
Top 5.
Tom 5.
Social media comment of the week.
So, social media comment of the week this week. It's quite a funny one. I wasn't aware of it. Is it? Is it? I guess we should read the comment first, and then we'll play you, the listener, the sound clip. And it'd be Steve listens to all of Steve from Black Star, mate. This involves you, and I guess we need to have verification from you whether this is the case or not. So it's the Black Star HC20 video, Don't Get the Blues Junior. It's had quite a lot of views. We said, Adam and Steve, take a look at the brand new HD20 combo from Black Star. And Tiffany Davidson mentioned, anyone else hear a burp at 3 minutes 44? Question mark, smiley face. So we're going to play the clip. And I listened to it a little bit earlier on, and I think that we may have a problem on our hands because I think it might be some oral flatulence. Have a listen, see what you think.
So it is very basic in the way that it's designed, but you can really tailor the tonality to be more of a sort of a more present. So it is very basic in the way that it's designed, but you can really tailor the tonality to be more of a sort of a more presence.
Just for verification, I was in the room and it wasn't a burp because we would have stopped.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was one of them.
Well, it sounds like a burp. To
The best thing about
me
it,
and maybe the visually impaired, if they can't, see the expression on his
the best
face.
thing about it is where the camera shot is of the amp, so it could be anything.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, it certainly sounded like a burp,
Does
Yeah.
sound like a burp.
and
There's only one man who will know.
it will. And I don't imagine, even if he's listening to this in half speed, it's going to sound like a burp in full speed, half speed, double the speed, whatever. So, Steve, you've either got to replicate that sound or just hands up, admit that it was a burp. So, thank you very much, Tiffany. That's brilliant.
Social media comment of the week.
I think that wraps up a fairly mediocre episode 19.
Episode 19.
Do you know what? You felt Tom not being in the room.
Yeah, definitely. But he's back.
And the table.
He's-
Either Tom or the table, I don't know. But I don't know which has more charisma.
Charisma.
But we've. I guess it's good to have an episode like this every now and again because it
Makes the less mediocre ones.
Yeah,
seem
makes
better.
it and we can categorically say we need a table
Yeah, and biscuits,
and Tom.
and coffee, and Tom.
Yeah.
All these things maketh a good podcast.
Yeah.
After inanimate objects, yeah.
So,
That's why.
Tom's,
That's why.
Tom's
That's
here.
why. Hi, mate.
Mate. Right, so Tom's gone. So atmosphere's gone. Humour and everything else. Let's wrap it up. Thank you for listening.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of the things. We're on all of the things.
Yeah, please comment.
Yeah.
Please let us know you're there.
Yeah.
I've been Andrew.
I've been Adam.
Tom's out there chatting on his phone. The table, he sends his regards. They'll be back next week. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week for episode 20. Bye-bye.
Bye.